she's really not in it for the money. She started getting into real estate because of me, because I was getting overwhelmed with all the people. So she was like, I'm gonna help you, and it's been a good 1-2 punch.
We're going to get into all of this.
All right, I'll stop.
No, that's the intro right there. Talk about it with Franjez. Today's special guest.
Special.
Is here. Extra special guest. The founder of HGRN Holdings, a direct lender, a published author, and much more. Today's guest is Lewis Omar Figueroa.
Give it up. No,
yeah.
I'm just kidding. Give it up.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for the intro, brother.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming through. How you doing today?
I'm doing really good, man. I'm doing really good. We already started talking, so I don't even know where to pick up. I don't even know where to pick up what we're talking about.
No. We're going to start right from the beginning.
Okay.
Get to know your upbringing. What made you the man you are today? Where were you born?
Puerto Rico. I was born in Puerto Rico, but I came over when I was
Cataño.
Cataño, Puerto Rico, yeah.
Tell us about Cataño.
No. I was months.
Oh,
I was months. I was born out of wedlock. My mother wasn't married. So back in the day, or in the 70s, that wasn't happening. So my grandfather and her had a big thing. And she ended up leaving New York. They were like, we're going to take the baby, give it to one of your sisters. She had like 7 sisters. And she was like, nah. And she left to New York with no English, with $50, with my pops, who ended up, having his own struggles with addiction. And me learning things, I was a kid, but I became what they call, as I grew older, I became parentified, where I'm like, I'm her accountant, I'm her lawyer, because she didn't speak English, right? So I'm like 11. She's like, what's he saying? And I'm like, and you've seen that, right?
Of course.
I don't know, ¿qué dice? And I'm like explaining it at 11 years old, concepts. And I think that's what kind of kept me always accelerated in terms of development and maturity, because of necessity. I talk to my kids about that all the time, because I know that I made it a very clear mission for them to try to enjoy their childhood as kids, not as baby, but like one of my last, I have 3 boys, 30, 25, and 21. My last one in his last year at school, and I'm like, yo, go to school, enjoy school, whatever you guys do in school, because when I went to school, I had to run to work right after. So I went to NYU on a scholarship, but it wasn't enough. So I had to come, we talk about socioeconomic factors so many times with people, but you can't really understand the struggle unless you've been through it, right? You can be hanging out with all these celebrities and stuff like that, and they're chilling, and you have to figure out how to get here tomorrow on the train, on the bus, and it's a different type of hustle. So I think that's kind of how I always hustled, because I knew what I wanted, and as I became more exposed to different people of different financial means, I was curious, and I became curious because I was like, yo, why not us? Why can't we do this? Why can't we live like this? Why am I so fucked up, right? And I just knew this, Section 8, no offense to SNAP and all that, but it's where we started, but the goal is to get off.
Yeah. Tell us about this. Yeah. Tell us about your childhood. What kind of kid are you? And what's going on? And where did you come from?
I was
Puerto Rico to where?
To Nelson Avenue in the Bronx, which is the hood still. If you know Nelson, Nelson's no joke. And then we moved to 196 in Jerome. And those are my formative years, like, kindergarten through like 7th grade. And
tell us about those years. What are you into at that age?
I wasn't into much because I was a latchkey child, meaning my mom had to go to work, so I had to go to school and come back in. There was no cell phones. There's no beat. Like, we're kids, so call me when you get home. Call me. That's it. And you had to beat because you don't, like, crack was a thing. It was crazy out there. Like, I know I talk about it. I mean, how old are you?
38.
Oh, you're still kind of young, but I mean, I don't know if you remember, like, you would get robbed for your sneakers. Like, they would put a gun in your face for a jacket. Like, it was real. Like, people think, oh, that's crazy. And where I live now, it's so foreign, but
life was different back then.
Yeah, it was different.
Before all the street cameras, all the stores had cameras, body cameras, cell phone cameras. Before all that, before accountability, crime was insane.
Yeah, you went out before Giuliani. Right, Giuliani changed everything, but back then it was like you go outside, you might not come back home, right?
Yeah, so it was the Wild Wild West.
So it was a different type of mindset. You'd be out there like this, like head on a swivel. I got robbed when I was going to my junior high school one time. I had a leather bomber. My stepfather had just met my mother, and he was trying to get in, so he was buying her kids stuff, and I got robbed at gunpoint. And luckily, I got fucked up. I was like, damn, it's crazy. Then my stepfather and his boys went over then and destroyed the kid, and so I felt safer, but then my mother was like, yo, we got to get out of here. So they moved me to Pelham Bay, which was a nicer area of the Bronx at the time. And then I went to Lehman High School. And at Lehman High School, it's now middle class, right? Where 196 Jerome is subsidized. How, like, you know, everybody is just living on food stamps and could barely, you know, put together money for a quart of water, right? So we're at Lehman, and my step-pop having, you know, and this is where I think about having networks, right? So my step-pop knew this guy who ran the community center, and they do like the sleepaway camps it was mostly Jewish kids. I didn't realize this till later. He was like, yo, you're gonna go work there because I want you off the street. Like, I want you to do something. So I went to camp, and there I met people that, you know, had mothers and fathers that were professionals, right? Like, I met my friend who's a public office, so I can't say her name, but she was married. Her parents were both principals, and she was like, yo, you should try NYU. And that was never on my radar. I was like, you know, I disqualified myself because I was like, that's too expensive. She's like, yo, she was giving me game, right?
This is high school.
This is me in high school. Correct.
So this person's bringing these ideas into your mind that never existed.
Never existed.
What are you thinking at the moment? Like, what are your goals? What job do you want before you even meet this person?
My original job was to be a cop. That's what I thought I wanted to be.
A realistic New York City job.
Right. A cop, you had a gun, it was cool.
Yeah,
the movies, right? You chasing
absolutely.
people was a cool thing.
Career, benefits, pension.
And then I started learning about how much they make. And I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna take care of my mother? And, like, you know, I'm putting the math together. I was like, this shit ain't working, bro. So,
and it's nowhere near how they get paid today. Now they make good money.
No, but also
it was bad back then.
After like you reach a certain level, right? Yeah. So she was like, you should try NYU. So I tried it, and I was thinking, because now it goes to who you know, right? In terms of economics and what you believe. I'm thinking a CUNY school, City University of New York, because it's cheaper, or a SUNY school. That was like a high thing. A private university. First of all, I didn't think I would be able to get in. I didn't have the grades, but I'm a really good test taker. So that was my SATs and these entrance exams they had. They asked me to come in. All right. I remember the application was like $100. Back then, that was like a lot of money.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And my guidance counselor was like, you sure? She's like, you should try. And I was like, I took it, you know, I think of it now. I'm on this side of 50, right? Where I'm like, yeah, I'm on this. I'm like, I understand now. I'm like, oh, you know, I'm from Lehman High School. You know, I might not have the means, whatever, or blue collar, whatever. She doesn't know me. And I'm thinking about going to this prestigious school. And I took it as offense, like, yo, you trying to say I'm not good enough? So I use that as the chip on my shoulder to keep moving. So I apply. I have never been coached to take an interview. It was the most awkward thing in my life, because I'm sitting there with this lady, and she's asking me questions that I've never thought about. And you know, you're a little intimidated. You go into like,
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck? And so anyway, I got in, right? So I get in, and it's like, we get in through the higher education opportunity program, right? So it's like it's how NYU can stay getting all their money, their grants, if they let some Latino and African American and Chinese and Russian in, right? So we get in through that loophole. But out of 90 of us that got in, I could tell you maybe 5 that I know graduated.
Ooh.
The attrition rate, right? Because it's not just you know, and there was another question, another podcast, yo, how was the curriculum? The curriculum was the curriculum. Like, I could study, like, you know, but the socioeconomic factors, right? Like the money part, like, yo, how am I gonna make this thing? Or when my mother and my stepfather get divorced, he's like, how am I gonna help? Like, it becomes all that. At one point, I had 3 jobs. I had taken a semester off because I had a baby on top of that, 19.
My man.
Yeah, I was typical Puerto Rican. Typical Puerto Rican. And then so I was a doorman, I was a trainer, personal trainer, and a waiter. And these are all jobs that you could have. And I don't know what the number was. Let's say the number was $2,000 a week. I'm sorry. Let's say that. But still, I was killing myself. I didn't have a life. I was working. Right? I was like, this ain't for me, man. So I had to figure out, yo, how do I make more with my time, right? So coming out of school, I get a little life insurance money. My boys are like, yo, we should open this liquor store. The hood dream, right? Like, they're like, yo, you should do it. So I'm like, okay, I got no better ideas.
Let's fall back a little bit.
Okay.
I want to still stay around high school, college.
Okay.
What are you into at this time? Are you into sports at all?
Nah, I was I loved playing basketball, but only recreationally because I was never that good, right? And yeah, I'm just being real. I'm being real. And then you're young, you're chasing girls, right? Like you're just chasing girls. You just like you dress nice, you want to feel good, you want to look good, and it's really about that. It's really about just hanging out and that. I really didn't have any big aspirations. I was for like 15, 16, 17, those years I was like, I would say my childhood. Like I was able to, I reconnected with my father. My father and I had like 5 good years. He died when I was 18, like 5 good years in total. So he came back into my life and we were kind of reconnecting and talking and, like, I don't care what kind of dad you have, you miss him because you don't know what it is, right? You're like, yo, there's supposed to be this relationship. I don't know what it's supposed to be. And you can only have your own individual one, so you were pursuing it. Even if, he was not the best example, you could take the bad things and be like, yo, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? I reconnected with him, and he was on Castle Hill, I was on Buer, so it was close. And I could walk to his house from high school, and then remember the second year in college, he ends up passing. So I'm no longer, I no longer have that.
Yeah. So the sorry about your loss, by the way.
Thank you.
That's definitely tough in those years too. But
yeah. They say I was talking to my man Jason Lacayo, and he's like, most people have 3 traumatic experiences in their life. I've had hundreds. I've had hundreds, bro. Hundreds, bro. Hundreds.
Man.
Because not only do you take on your weight, right? I use that as a metaphor, but the more you have, the more you try to help. Yeah. Right, and then that becomes the slippery slope where try to be helpful, but don't lose yourself. Like I've gone to therapy for that. Like he's like, yo, man, you gotta make boundaries, bro, because you'll end up losing yourself, and not really knowing what makes you happy or not happy because you're so busy being projected on by all these people.
Imagine being a therapist.
Yeah,
you're literally taking on everybody's problems, worst problems,
and that's why they need therapy.
Exactly. 100%.
Yeah.
So the child you had, this is your wife now, right?
No. That was we were 17.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in college first year. That's Dre. Shout out to Dre. He's doing well in Pennsylvania.
Nice.
He's 30 years old. Right?
My man.
Yeah. Then I meet my wife when I'm 28. I have the liquor store.
Okay. All right. So now we're pretty much here, right?
Yeah.
You leave college. What are you still working 3 jobs when you went back to college?
So I tried to do a few things like on Wall Street, and it wasn't. I didn't go to good companies.
It's after college.
Yeah, right after college.
Okay.
Right.
And you went to college. Was it psychology or something like that?
Metropolitan Science, which is a study of the psychology of people going to cities, which was kind of industrial, like. Why do people go to cities? Because of work. And it becomes that, like the study of people. Oh. So sociology, psychology degree. Yeah.
I see. And what was the job you wanted with that degree?
I was still thinking I'd be a cop.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I still thought I was going to be a cop.
That doesn't even sound like...
I know. Then I'm thinking, all right, so at the time I think I was dating a girl whose family was in Wall Street. And they're like, you should come here. And I tried it. I didn't like it. It just wasn't for me, and I had a lot going on, so I ended up coming back and having a little money and going into the liquor store. I was like, let me try this. Maybe I felt it was safer. I don't know, because I'm a big believer in controlling your destiny, and when you work for other people, not to say they're bad, because I've worked for other people and have really good relationships, but I've also been able to identify what's good about them, and also see with no true like prejudice about why it's bad. It's bad for this, right? Like there's a saying, they want you to see good as long as you don't do better than them. I experienced that, like and it's not in a realm of hate. You got like I say this with you on the podcast, so I want people to watch this.
It's human behavior,
right? And you have to be okay with and objective about it.
Yeah,
be like, all right, man. So you're here for this season.
Yeah,
I'm outgrowing you. No, I'm serious.
Straight up.
But it's gonna happen forever.
Absolutely,
it's gonna happen forever. I'm gonna keep going. Nice to have met you, and in a nice way, right? Like,
absolutely,
yeah. But talking to you about it, like it wasn't as clear as it was, because when you're young, you're experiencing it. Like, why does motherfucker hating on me? Like, what? Again, going back to where I'm at in my life, I'm like, I understand. Okay, I understand, and it has nothing to do with me.
Absolutely,
and it's hard to not take things personal, especially when you're in it, when you're young. Everything's personal. Right? Everything's emotional. You're ready to crash
especially
out.
When it's someone close to you,
right? And people that you expect to to be like as giving as you. And there's this mantra I live by, right? The mantra I live by is like, do it because of who you are. It has nothing to do with the person who's getting the help.
Mm-hmm.
If this makes you feel good, then do it. Do it. And if you take it out, you take it out.
It aligns with your morals.
Yeah. Take it out, you take it out, it's all right. It's all right. It's okay to be owed a lot. I use that as a metaphor, like it's okay for them to be up. I'd rather that be, because I would hate to have somebody saying that, oh, Omar took advantage of me or this or that. I'd rather be the guy, be like, yo, this is where we end, right? Like I walked away from $1 million deals from family members. I'm like, this is where we end. I said, we are always going to be family, but I don't trust you anymore, and I can't have you around me. And that's what it is, and I'm sorry.
That's deep.
But real conversation.
I like saying it something like, we'll still be friends, but when it comes to business, we can't do it.
Well, look, it was family, so it's deeper than friends. Yeah. It's deeper than like, yo,
we're here forever.
I gotta be here, right? But I don't trust you, so you don't have access to me like that anymore. Because what happens is people get really fucking comfortable. Like,
Absolutely.
Oh, O's gonna handle this. O's gonna handle. Oh, bro, I have my own life too, bro. Like, I have my own wife, my own kids. Like, don't just dump shit. And that becomes the thing. Me going to therapy, I started to understand. I was like, all right, you gotta protect yourself a little bit, because you're the one that has to do all this shit, right? And then because if not, people just, it's like the thread. Yeah. They take the thread and the sweater, and then all of a sudden you have no clothes, right? You're like, yo, my man, it's freezing outside, and you took all my shit. Right? Yeah.
100%.
Man. I like my metaphors 100%. Today, man.
Yeah.
I'm flowing really today. I'm flowing.
These are good. So the liquor store. Tell me about that investment and that.
Oh man,
it was an existing liquor store. You just have to buy it.
No. It was a great. It was great, and it was sad because I started with two of my best friends, and our partnership lasted 4 months.
4
months. It was but these are the lessons.
100%.
Right?
I can't wait to hear
I'm here
this
to talk
one.
about the lessons.
I can't wait to hear this.
So
one.
I had a little money, and I said, all right, boys, this is what we're going to do. It was on 159 3rd.
Did they have money too, or you were the only investor?
I was the only guy. Right. So, So you already lined me up. You already lined me up for this conversation. So I said, all right, so this is what we're going to do. I said, I got 50. I'm going to put up the 50. I'm going to get the license. I'm going to put my credit, because you buy things on credit.
Yeah.
I'm going to do all that under my name. When I get my 50 out, then we become 33s. And I said, and then the goal is for everybody to have their own store. Yo, that's dope. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I love it. Da-da-da. The liquor business has 2 cycles. The one cycle is January to September. And the second cycle is October to December. So you make as much money in those 3 months as you do the whole year. Because of the holidays. Yeah, the holidays. Right. So of course,
I didn't know that.
Of course I open up October, right?
Okay.
So I'm opening up on my credit again. I'm using that. I'm saying that on purpose. So I fill up the store with like $100,000 worth of liquor credit. I mean, we're not going to talk about the shit fell off the truck. We're not, just credit. So these guys are seeing, 10,000, 15,000. And they're like, yo, we up, bro. Da-da-da. I'm like, all right, fellas, hold on.
We're not up yet.
I said, first of all, it's on credit. So we don't have shit. What we're making is 25% on the alcohol and 40% on the wine. You understand that? Oh, I understand that. They understood it and forgot that shit in 2 seconds. They're like, yo, we up 30,000. I was like, we not up. If you do the math, like I told you, we up maybe 7,000. I got to pay these bills back. Nah, there's money missing. There's money. I was like, no, I'm doing. They call in my other best friend. Shout out to Benny. I love you. He's a CPA accountant at KPMG. Yo, Benny, man, the money's missing. He's like, what money, nigga? This is credit. He's like, did Omar not explain to you this is credit? Anyway. So I was like, finally, I had a meeting with them. They were mad. They were like, oh, the money's missing. I was like, guys, there wasn't money. It was credit. I kept saying this to you. I kept saying this to you. I said, so you know what? I said, I love you guys. Just give me your numbers. What you think you put into this, I'm going to pay you out. And that's how I ended the friendship.
Wow.
I ended up paying them out. And it was quick. And so that was me reliving that shit, right? But that one thing taught me that.
Yeah, what did you learn from that?
I stand on mine. Because I wasn't doing anything wrong. And going back to what I told you before, I didn't have to pay them shit. Illegally, I didn't have to pay them shit. I owned everything.
They put nothing up.
Nothing up, right? Their time, which is, going back then, I think it was a total payout of like $32,000, something like that, which isn't a lot of money, but at that moment, at that moment, that was everything, right? Because you living on credit, you living with your mom, you're not paying taxes because you're paying people out. It was crazy. So I'm doing that for a few years, and then all right, there's another opportunity comes up to open a nightclub. Somebody had opened a nightclub, and he was underfunded, and one partner wanted to get rid of the other. I knew the landlord, so I ended up doing that for like 6 months to a year.
Well, what city was the liquor store in?
Oh, Bronx, New York, 159 3rd.
Okay.
And then the club was Candela on Castle Hill, Candela Lounge. It was very popular. It was very hood popular. Very hood popular. Yeah. I think Sean Martin, shout out to Sean. I think he used to go there. He's like, yo, I remember that spot. I was like,
my man.
Probably. I was like, probably. If you were from the Bronx and you went to Jimmy's, you knew that spot. Because I had Arnold, rest in peace, Arnold, promoting for me on Fridays. Like, there was that crew. We all kind of hung out. And during that time, I get a call from one of my boys, Chris. He works at the bank, at a bank called Precision Financial. They're out of business now. He goes, yo, what's up? I was like, what's up, man? I haven't spoken to him in years. He goes, I told my boss about you. I'm thinking he wants to have a party or something. I'm like, okay. He was like, I told him you lit. He got to meet you. So I was like, okay. What does he want to do? He goes, he can tell you. It was very mysterious. It was very mysterious. Shout out to Ira Zimmerman. He's at United Mortgage Corp now. And he comes to meet me at 159 3rd in the X5. I remember this because that was like the car back then, right? And he's like, hey, my name is Ira. He's giving me a story. He goes, this is what I want to do with you. He was like, I'm originally from the Bronx. I live in Long Island now. But I want you to find me properties that are below market. I don't know what any of this means, right? So I'm just listening, right? I'm a business guy, right? I'm down for the hustle. Yeah. I'm like, okay, all right. He was like, I buy the property, I will pay you 6% commission fee, and that's a real estate broker fee. And I'm like, okay, all right. I get it. So I found one real fast, because you telling me you're gonna pay me 6% of $300,000, that's $18,000. Like, I'm like, yo, money's money. I'm dying on fucking $6 per bottle of Hennessy. So yeah. So we find one, we close it. I get paid. I don't want to kill Franjez today. I find one, we close it, I get paid. It was like $18,000, $30,000. It was decent money. I was like, oh shit, this is real. I do it again. And he says, come to my office to pick up your check. This is before Zelle and wires. This is old shit, old school shit. You had to pick up a paper check and shit. There was none of that. I was like, okay. So I go over there and I walk into, it's in Syosset, Long Island. And I go in there and I go to the receptionist. I'm here to speak to Ira. She goes, oh, he's expecting you. So I walk in, past the reception, I make a right, and there's this bullpen of people just on the phone, screaming. I've never seen, the last time I saw that was on Wall Street. I was like, okay, all right. So I'm walking. He's all the way at the end. I'm walking on the right-hand side of this board with these numbers, 150, 275, 350. I'm like, wow, big numbers, but I don't know what the fuck that means. I keep walking, I walk in. Hey, what's up, man? Hey, nice for you to come in. I'm thinking to myself, yo, bro, you asked me to come in. Stop acting like, stop asking like this is a surprise. This becomes a culture. It's just like a culture thing. Like, the different cultures I'm interacting with, it's just wild. I'm like, and I'm like learning and engaging and trying to understand. And he's like, oh, he's a check. He goes, let me ask you a question. Oh, he's cleaning his shoes.
Somebody was cleaning his shoes?
He was cleaning, yeah, of course. Somebody was cleaning his shoes. Like, he was paid. He was paid.
I'm trying to get the visual.
He's like, hey, man, get that. Let me ask you a question. I'm like, damn. So I'm sitting there like, yo, this is like a movie scene.
Hell yeah.
So he's like, how much you make at the liquor store? And I was like, I make like 110 a year. And that was money. Cash, back then, that was money. He's like, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Get the other shoe. He goes, I have guys doing that here a month. So I was like, what? He was like, I said, those numbers that I passed by. He goes, oh yeah, those numbers. He's like, those are monthly gross revenue numbers from different guys. He was like, you're educated, you speak English, you speak Spanish. You're a go-getter, obviously, we're doing business. He was like, I think you should come here and try to become a loan originator.
A loan what?
A loan originator, a loan officer. Okay. But that's what they call him, a loan originator.
Okay.
So I was like, okay. He was like, when do you start? I said, I'll start tomorrow. Because I saw those numbers, I was like, oh, fuck yeah. I was like, I'm in this motherfucker. Going back to like never knowing this industry, right? Like even now, we see Ryan Serhan, he talks crazy a little bit. But like for the people, they don't understand like how much access there is. If you're good. I mean, everything is if you're good. Because you could be a podcaster, but if you're not good, you're gonna, like anything, Absolutely. You gotta be good. So I go there, I hire somebody to work in my store. And I go there for my second education. I'm there again from October, November, December. So like, it was the end of the year for some reason. And I do like 90,000 in 3 months, not knowing what the fuck I'm doing. Because I got no training. They were like, yo, here's a phone. This is before, like, the internet was being used, but not like that. Here's a phone. Call these numbers. See if they want to refinance. I'm like, what? What? Yeah. See if they want money from their house. I was like, oh, okay. So they, like, they're really breaking it down really basic for me. So I got on the phone. The next day, I put an email together, all people in my phone book. Hey, guys, I'm doing loans. All the things people talk about, media and all that, I was doing that without even knowing what the fuck that was. So I reach out. My accountant sends me a client. Like, I'm starting to meet people. I'm starting doing stuff, and I start closing deals. And then I'm like, yo, man, but how does this fucking work? Like, I'm over here in my desk. I don't know. So I make friends with a Cuban lady who is an underwriter. Her name is Carrie. Shout out to Carrie. And she was like, look, man, come to the back when you have loans, and I'll show you how this works. And so I would go to the back. So I would, just so you know, I would work from like 9 a.m. to like 8, 9 o'clock at night.
So do you still have the club and the liquor store?
Oh, so no. After I made 90,000, I was like, we out.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, we out. Shut this down. Sell all this shit. I was like, yeah. Yo, because how easy is that? Like, I'm working, like, yo, all right, let me give you the liquor store business a little bit. You're dealing with drunks, first of all. Everybody wants credit. If you're doing what you're not supposed to do is doing night deliveries, you got to hang out, wait to get paid. Like, it's a fucking hustle, man. And the money, the margins aren't there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, it's a hustle if that's all you can do. But I had intelligence. I was like, no, this is not for me. So, and forget if you get 100 cases delivered to your truck, to your store, you're moving cases, your back is blown out. Like, it's a mess, bro. So I was like, fuck this shit. I was like, fuck this shit. I was like, I just could be on the phone and I can make a lot of money.
Tell us what sucks about the nightclub business.
The real money is made in the after hours. That's the real money. Just FYI, everything is past statute of limitations on me. So from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock in the morning is when I made my money. And that's when guys would have a lot of money to spend because they were making a lot of money. I'm not going to say what they were doing. They would pay me.
They got off work at 4 a.m.
No, right. And they'll pay me $500 for a bottle. They'll pay me $1,000 because they want to smoke. It's ridiculous. Whatever I said, they would do it. But I come home smelling like fucking trash, bro. And I'm like 9 o'clock in the morning. I had to start my other shift. I'm like, it was money, but I didn't have to make it that way. Like, especially when I learned this, I was like, oh, I could make $400,000 a year. Like, I know it sounds like a big number, and it is a big number. But if you really work, you could do it, and you don't have to deal with this shit. I mean, I'm not even telling you about the fights that were outside where I see people get shot. My New Year's Eve party where somebody shot at the door because I didn't let them in. I mean, you risking your life over.
Absolutely.
Nah, man. Like, I was like, nah, it's not for me. I'm good.
You're dealing with drunks in both jobs.
Yeah. You're dealing with drunks, and then you're dealing with, like, and I don't mean to say it like this, but you're dealing with a lot of street guys, and they don't care.
Not at all.
They don't care. This is, if you don't let them in, it's like a personal attack on them. Like, you don't even know them.
The ego.
Yeah, motherfucker, da-da-da. You know who I am? I'm like, yeah, bro, I don't care who you are. We're full. I mean, Arnold, shout out to Arnold. Rest in peace, man. I don't know, did you know Arnold from Prime Time? So. Oh, my man. He used to do Jimmy's Friday nights.
Oh, nice.
He was fucking legendary. He'd be like, yo, man. He'd be at the door, he'd be like, listen, man, I have a lot of too many guys in there. So if you want to go in, it'd be like $500 for a bottle. They'd be like, fuck it. He'd be like, and we would just pack people in. And that's cool for a little bit, but eventually, bro, like, it gets crazy, man. It gets crazy. So, yeah, man. So I got out of that game. I went full time into this game. And I'm learning to underwrite. And I'm learning.
What's underwrite? Underwrite
is one with they're actually programs that the banks use to approve or deny your loan. And I'm learning how to manipulate those programs. I'm learning how to get more people approved than denied, right? And I'm learning LP, like all different programs. This is all real esoteric, real specific, but for people in the game, they understand what I'm saying. And so I knew that if I knew how to do that, I go anywhere. So I was hanging out with the Cuban underwriter. I was watching. She's smoking cigarettes in my face. I'm like, I'm trying to read and shit. But I learned it because I knew if I learned how to do that, I go anywhere. And just like that, once you start making a certain amount of money, people start acting funny. Supposed to get a check for 40. Oh, we're gonna give you 20 now and 10. And I was like, okay. So then the Cuban lady was like, yo, I'm out. I was, what? She goes, I got an offer for like $1 something. And her job, they were making 60, 70. Somebody offered $120. And she was like, but I told them about you. So go meet them. go meet the owner and tell me if it's fit, because I won't leave. Or I'm gonna leave anyway, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to put you on. So I met the guy who was younger than me, Brian. Shout out to Brian. And he interviewed me, and he was trying to give me like his professional like appearance. I was like, bro, I don't care about any of this. I was like, when do we get paid? And how early can I get here? That's all I need to know. He was like, I'll give you a key. I was like, bet. And I was like, and he's like, you get paid on the 1st and 15th. I was like, bet. So I was from the Bronx driving 45 miles each way, in the first in, last to leave for 5 years.
Wow.
I say that on purpose because people have to understand the amount, the extent of dedication you have to become top 10% of your fucking.
I was literally just about to ask, what made you go so hard?
Bro, I had never seen where I could make $1 million a year doing paperwork. What fuck we doing? Right? And first of all, second of all, I mean, I skipped this part up. My wife was pregnant in 2004. My mom had just gotten divorced for the second time. And I was telling, I was living with my wife, her son, she's pregnant, my sister. I was like, Ma, I'm going to probably buy something or leave. And my mom was like, well, what am I going to do? And that, that hit me. So I was like, all right, let's buy a 2-family. You down? She goes, yeah. I go, again, I don't know anybody who bought a 2-family. I don't know anybody, nobody. I'm doing it. So I go to my accountant, you'll lend. I'm by this house. Let me know if you know anybody. He was like, well, Maria, his assistant, she's a realtor. Oh, I have a house. It just kind of happens that way. So I go to the bank. This is before I was in the banking, it was like a year before. I go to the bank to North Fork, which became Capital One. And my liquor store, my nightclub, they see all the money going through. And I'm like, I figure, they're going to give me a loan, right? So I go in there and I'm like, hey, I need to get a loan. Da, da, da. So this lady, I forgot her name. She walks me to sit down with her. She opens this book and she's asking me questions. Every time I answer a question, she flips a page. So obviously she knew what the fuck she was doing. But anyway, at the end, she goes, I can't help you. I'm like, yo, bro, this is like 05 or 04. Like, everybody could get a loan, bro. 08 was the meltdown. I don't know if you know that part, right? 08 was, so 04, 05, shit was popping. I was like, I can't get a loan? You're bugging, bro. So that's how I got on Chris's rate. I called Chris. Yo, Chris, I need to get a loan. What the fuck? He's like, I got you, bro. I got you. Da-da-da. They sent me the approval letter. We closed the loan real quick.
Nice.
But going back to who you know. And that's what kept me on his radar. Because he's like, Omar's doing shit out there in the Bronx. And I haven't seen him in years, but he's a mover. And that's kind of how, just to tie this into how we're here today, right? We all met we've met independently, but we all kind of ended up at one spot last week.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw the power of that. I was like, yo, man, I got to tap in. I want to make more accessible. I want my people to live. Like, I want us to grow. The only way to grow is to initiate. You can't be waiting for it. Right? You got to tap in. Yo, you mind? No, let's do it. Where's the win-win? We both grow together, right? And if I'm of service, bet. If you're bet, like I was asking him, like, do you rent this? Like, like if I know people that need to rent it, but that's how we win.
Absolutely.
We look at how we can be of value and service, and we got to be a little selfless like that, bro, because I believe it comes back a millionfold.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's how we got here today, right now. Yeah. I don't even know that was a question, but I just want to, I thought it's important. It's important tie-in because I feel like so much, going back to, or you said ego.
Oh, yeah.
Ego stops a lot of people from, I don't want to use the word lowering, but just being vulnerable. Yo, man, you mind doing this? Do you feel like doing this? Like,
absolutely.
Just, you know what I'm saying? Like,
not asking for the help.
Yeah. Is it cool? Is it like, we down? I think we could work. Bet, let's do it. Like, you be so surprised at how you can do it. And other cultures do that shit all day.
All day.
Right. And Latinos and blacks, like, they have this little thing. And I'm like, yo, man, I'm going to get mine. If I can help you get yours and maybe you help me get more, bet. If not, I'm still getting mine. Like, I'm not waiting for somebody to get it. And I think that's the mindset shift that has to change for people to understand that content creation is about representation. It's about people seeing people like them talking to me intelligently about things that they might not know or have access to. Going back to my story, I didn't know anybody who, when I went to NYU, I met people whose parents were CEOs. I didn't know anybody who was a CEO.
None of my friends' parents were CEOs.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck that. Your parents are married? I didn't have that shit. Like, I know it sounds stupid, but it's not, because if it's not reality to you, you can't really believe it. Going back to representation.
100%.
Right? So, like, now I'm meeting people and, oh, it's my mom, it's my dad. I'm like, oh, they live together? Right? Oh, they don't want to kill each other? Oh, there's no police report? Yo, man, I've had I remember memories as a kid, man. The cops showing up to pick me up from my father's because he took me from the house, going back to no phones and shit, no cell phones. And my mom didn't know. And you know what I'm saying? That's how crazy it got. But it doesn't have to be that way. But if we don't talk about it, nobody's gonna know it exists.
I was just about to say, we don't know it exists. Yeah. It's not even in our subconscious mind. Right. We don't know what happens.
Right. It's not a possibility.
Yeah, it's not a possibility.
It's not, and if it's not a possibility, it ain't gonna happen.
Exactly.
Right? They always say that.
It limits our mind.
Yeah, they say that if you don't try, it's definitely not gonna happen. If you try and fail, it maybe could happen. So I'll take the maybe, right?
100%.
So yeah, just to tie that in, because I believe that there's so much more power in collaboration that people have to see. I've had really good conversations with people that are way above my pay grade, that know of me, of something I've done, and I offer. And they're like, yo, you know who I am? I was like, yeah. I was like, I'll pull up my cameras. He's like, yo, you know I got a budget of $1 million for his. I was like, I get it, but you get a little different spice. You get a little different look. And he's like, yo, I love that shit. And then it just opens up that conversation. How many people, all right, let's talk about dressing lately. So I want to dress up in suit and ties, but right now I got construction going on. So I told you the story off camera, should be having, I have to jump on a roof and shit like that. I can't dress up. When the time comes for it, I will dress up. Why? Because I haven't dressed up in a while. Not because I need to, because I feel like it.
I think it's your love of sneakers.
Oh, that too. That's
the reason. If you throw a suit on, you'd rather be. Tell us about your love of sneakers. It started when you were a kid?
Yo, man, sneakers were a big part of my culture, right? When I was young, I couldn't afford them, right? And everybody I talked to, the same shit. I couldn't get them when I was 11, but when they come out this year, you know, yeah, 40-year-old guys, yo, man, when they come out this year, I'm gonna do it. I was like, yeah, fuck that, because, you know, how many times have you been there watching? You can't have, how many times have I'll give it personal. How many times I want to go to McDonald's when I was a kid, I couldn't. We couldn't afford it, and McDonald's ain't shit to me now, right? But back then, no,
there's food in the house.
No pide nada, no pide nada, cállate. I'm like, okay, yeah, and it sounds so small. But those little experiences kind of form who we become, right? I don't want to be told, so of course, you know, my kids, you want that? I got you. Then we got to have the conversation about health. Yo, bro, chill with McDonald's. 100%. It's bad for you, right? It's
the bad. Reason we're here.
Yeah. We were just broke, but you have access. You got to chill, right? Yeah, which is funny because it's the pendulum swings, right? The pendulum
100%.
swings. Yeah. So
100%.
yeah, sneaker culture is big for me. My first pair of expensive sneakers was when I was 12. A pair of Air Jordan AJ2s. My stepfather sends me to his boy owned a sneaker store next to the supermarket on Mashula Parkway. He goes, yo, Omar, go look at those sneakers. Tell me if you like them. I think at a certain point in my life, we were so poor that I didn't know I was poor. Right? You know what I'm saying? You don't have shit. So nobody had shit. It's not like somebody had shit. Nobody, your friends, everybody, nobody. Yo, can I get that shirt? Everybody's fucked up. So you think this is what it is. And so I look at them, I'm like, oh, these are dope. I didn't know what they were. Yeah, Air Jordan 2s. They box. I was like, wow, this is crazy. He was like, you want them? I was like, can I have them? No, because you don't, remember, this is not probably my stepfather.
100%.
So I was because my mother would make me feel guilty about wanting anything because she didn't have anything. So she'd be like, no pide, no esto, no. So that shit gets in your head, bro. You're like, I shouldn't ask for anything. I'm not worth it.
Yo, going back to our podcast on your platform, imposter syndrome, you think that was part of it? Even at 12 years old, feeling that?
Nah, I think what it was...
that's not for me.
I think, imposter syndrome would be something that I wanted, but the thing was, to go into our analyticals right now, to go even deeper, I was being conditioned to not expect, right? So, I felt bad asking. Right, because that's how poor we were. Yeah. And that's a real thing, man.
100%.
Yeah, I'm trying to give you another example. I remember the first time I bought a toy. It was, I don't know if you remember the shit, Mask. It was the cars that would turn to planes and shit like that. It was do you remember that?
No, not Mask.
Anyway,
no.
So anyway, all right. So I remember I used to work. I was 8 years old. They used to have me working with them in the meat department because there was no childcare, right? So I'm fucking taking chickens and my hands are frozen. I'm fucked up. Yeah. They thought it was funny, but it teaches you, right? It teaches you, this ain't for me.
100%.
This my hands be all red and shit. I'm like, And at the end of the day, I would get $20, right? And to me, I was 8, 9. I was like, wow, this is great. I make a lot of money. So I went to the toy store and I was like, yo, man, it's toy, man. I'm gonna have to wait till next week. He was like, why? My stepfather. I was like, yo, I'm gonna wait till. He was like, where you going? I'm going to Toy Story. I got paid. I'm gonna go burn my money right now. And I come back, I was like, that's 30. Fuck. I wait till next week. And he's like, no, I got you. Go ahead. And I was like, I know these numbers seem arbitrary. I'm like, $30. I'm like, that's a lot of money, right? Like I have my own toy. I could get my own, like, to be able to get something because you decide to is a big deal. Like, especially when you're not in control of your life, you're a kid. But going back to what you were asking me, I don't think it was imposter syndrome. It was simply my mother's limiting self-beliefs.
Absolutely.
Being pushed upon me. Like she was trying to condition me that way. And I went the other way. And we had a lot of friction because of that. but she passed away last year. But I want to say this. There was a year, 2012, 2013, when I was doing really well. And she told me, she's like, I'm really proud of you. And that was everything. That was the moment when you say, oh, when you think when you feel like you made it. I don't feel like I made it when I bought $1 million house or I bought a $3 million nah, that moment, because you take that weight off somebody. Like I used to tell her, I was like, you don't have to work today. Like she's like, what? I was like, I'm using these numbers. I think she made $200 for a Sunday. She would go to make the $200 cash. Like I was like, babe, you driving over the Throgs Neck Bridge, you paying $7. Like I was breaking it down. I was like, I'm gonna give you the money to stay home, or cook us dinner, or like do that. Yeah. And that changed her, bro, because she lived in scarcity her whole life. She lived under pressure,
survival mode.
Yeah, survival mode, absolutely. And she lived, and before she ended up, she got sick in 2017. But before those 5 years, I took her on her first vacation, first class. She had never done that for her 60th. I did shit for her that she would never do because she couldn't conceive it. Bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she was like, first class, crazy. I was like, no, we out. Listen, it's crazy how like, I talking to you about this, you bring these memories. Like, I remember I first started flying first class like in 2012, something like that with wifey. We started making a little money out, go on vacation. And how many times, right? I'd be asked, you a ball player? From people from the Midwest in first class, they don't expect to see us in first class. And I don't say this to start beef. I say this to say people are conditioned too. They're not used to seeing that, right?
Absolutely.
A few years ago when Kyrie and Kevin Durant won the Nets, I had floor seats, right? I was on the floor, on the wood, they call it. Because I'm a basketball head. I was never good enough to play, but I love the sport, right? And I play now, and I'll forever play until I can. And I'm walking in, and the guy, one of the guys is security. He's like, hey, man, you an MMA fighter? I'm like, nah, man. I'm the CEO. No, but it's funny because we can only be these things because they don't see us.
Absolutely.
They don't see us. And my man was like, MMA fighter, come on, man. I was like, don't start no beef, bro. Like, let's just go hang out, have a good time. But it's crazy because, the guys that work there, they don't make money. I mean, I'm not shitting on them. They make, $25 an hour. And they don't know who they're seeing.
Absolutely.
I remember one time I'm sitting there with my man Ron, shout out to Ronnie, and Babyface Ray is next to me. He's a little rapper, right? I don't say that to minimize him, but I didn't know him. So I took a picture with him. Jay-Z was across from us. I knew him. I was like, oh, what up?
There you go.
Yeah, right? So I'm like, so I'm very careful when I approach people. I'm like, hey, man, are you in the entertainment business? Like, I didn't want to, you could be anything, right? Yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm I'm a pretty good rapper. So I was like, all right, can we take a picture? He's like, yeah. So I take a picture, put on a story, my 30-year-old, yo, dad. That's Babyface Ray. Going back to like generations, right? Like I didn't know who he was.
Absolutely.
If you would have said Hov, I'm like, yeah, let's take a picture. But I'm like, who's this guy? But my son was like, he's on my playlist. He's
that's crazy.
Right? So it just becomes you don't know who you're next to, right? And I always say that to say, going back to the planes and fucking it, like, yo, we could be all these things, man. We could be all these things. And I want if anybody gets anything from the podcast, we could be anything. We could be everything. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously it takes a shitload of work.
Absolutely.
And dedication and time, but you could do these things, man. Like, you don't have to be the rapper. You don't have to be the MMA fighter. I'm not shitting on them, right? Like they could beat my ass, but that wasn't for me, man. I wasn't trying to get punched in the face all day to make a living. That's just not for me, man. This is not for me. Yo, it's crazy.
Let's get back to the story. So
okay.
The Cuban lady's leaving. She wants to take you with her.
Okay, so I go, I interview. I told you first and 15th, so I'm out. So I leave. That was like 2007. Meltdown happens in 08. So during the meltdown, it was a mass exodus from the business. I made about $100,000, which is unheard of. People were getting paid like it was so inflated before that, and I had just gotten into it, so I never really experienced how easy it was. Like guys were doing 5-6 deals per person per day. It was it was bananas. The money that was being thrown around was bananas, bro.
Wow.
You know, going back to millions of guys making millions a month, like crazy numbers. So 08, I make money. So 09, 2010, short sales start happening. Do you know what that is?
Is that the penny?
No. Short sales are basically in real estate. When, let's say, the house you bought in 03, right? And you haven't paid. And you owe me $1 million, right? But I have this buyer that'll pay you fair market rate, which is, let's say, $500,000. As a real estate broker, you negotiate the short sale. Look, I have market buyer at 500. Will you erase $500,000? They were doing that. Then I start seeing what the real estate brokers are making, the 6% on it, and it's like 30, 40. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I got to get into this shit too. So, right. So I start taking my license tests. I'm like, boom, boom, boom. And we start doing that. And there's, you know, on one of my best deals, like $80,000 one deal. Like, you know, like it takes work and you got to know people, but you can make a lot of fucking money. So that's when the real estate company was born. And I told him, I told my guy Brian in Long Island, I said, yo, bro, I'm going to do this. You want to get in? He's like, no, I'm going to chill here. Regulation on regular residential loan officers got worse and worse, right? They've been creative in compensation, but we're going to leave that there. We don't get FDIC violated. So I started gravitating more towards the investment property and hard money and fix and flip because it's not regulated for investors. And doesn't have all this red tape. So that's how I made my name. People started to figure out that they would go to their regular bank, get denied, and come here, and I get them closed. And so that's how I kind of made my name. And so I had the real estate arm, and then the lending arm. I was brokering loans, but if you can do $2 to $4 million a month per investor. Investors are just banks like Citibank and Chase. They'll let you close in your own name because they're like, yo, we want your business, right? So I started doing that. So now I got HGRN Capital, Hudson Group Real Estate. And then the media happened after COVID. I was like, all this fucking going out is dead. Like, and that wasn't really efficient for me anyway. Networking events and stuff like that, because you were so busy trying to do business, you like half in, half out. And so I started doing media and then started doing targeted ads and systems and stuff like that. Like that's really specific. But it worked for me. It worked tremendously for me. And then 2 years ago, I tried to create a team. And the one part that I did not anticipate was that you cannot determine somebody else's work ethic. And that's, you know, they see the car, they see the house, they see life. They want that. All right, but you have to do all this shit. And they're like, oh, that's too much. Then don't want that. Scale down. That's okay. Just, you know, you're going to get what you deserve, not what you think. Not what you want. Yeah, not what you think you should have, right? Like, if you're not willing to bust your hump, then don't expect that. Don't expect to be next to me, you know, and that's okay, but don't have an ego about it. That's the part you get caught on, especially this younger generation. Nah, I don't want to do that. I'm like, yo, why don't you assist me on this loan? No, I got my own loans. My man, you got one loan for a year. You don't have your own loans. Why don't you put that to the side? No, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, doing everything but nothing. And so then I ended up letting go of my whole sales team, and now I'm rebuilding. Now I'm using AI, I'm doing different things. And I feel that you don't make good people, you find good people. So if I keep doing my thing and I have actually a business model with systems, and I get a good guy and I put him, or girl, I put him in and they can use the systems. My best worker so far is my wife. She hustles as hard as I do. And it's crazy. It's not even for the money. It's because she believes in excellence. She believes in doing the best you can. And that's the part, I guess that's why we've been married so long. We have that very common denominator. And no ego involved. She'll do what she can. And, you know, that's really it. That's the one lesson I could tell people is that you can't make good people. You can check energy. You usually find good people. They usually tell you who they are through their action. And it's not in the beginning. The beginning it's like dating, right? Everything's good. You're like, they're mad on point. Give it like 3 to 6 months, right? 3 to 6 months. That's when you start seeing the sloppy Sally, who she becomes and what it really is. And that's the part that I learned, right? So I had to let everybody go and I'm rebuilding again. But like I was telling you, I'm making a hub. And what my hub is going to be is simply for realtors, loan officers, even media people. They want to close in my office, they can close. I don't even have to be on the deal. If it's available, come through, right? That's what I want to make because I believe they'll be like, oh, I want to make some content. How much is this? And that becomes an opportunity. Oh, this deal's falling apart. Omar, maybe you could help. That becomes an opportunity. Or, like, I believe just being in proximity creates opportunity. So, like, that's what I'm creating. I'm creating a physical space because they don't have that in the Bronx. Everybody has like little dingy offices and una mierda ahí. And I'm like, nah, I can't do this. So I'm trying to bring like that vibe to the South, to the Bronx.
Well, what does the property look like? Like, it's multiple rooms?
3-story commercial with a 16-car parking lot.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. It carito too, but we got to do it.
I bet, yeah.
Yeah, but once I get it flowing, it's going to flow well. It's going to
amazing.
Flow well.
Tell us about the podcast.
The podcast is simply Real with Omar, you talking about, or just the podcast?
Real with Omar, yeah.
Real with Omar is really about resilience, education, attitude, and leverage. That's what Real stands for. And the double entendre play is real estate, right? Because I'm in real estate. But resilience becomes, all about, it's not going to be easy in the beginning. It'll get easier, but the catch-22 on that is if you're trying to be better, it'll never get easier because you're always trying to get better, right? So different levels, different devils. You've heard that, right?
Absolutely.
So like you get to the second floor, oh, I'm good. Damn, I want to do this now. And then you go to the third floor, and but you get bigger, you get stronger, you get faster. And I'm talking mentally as a metaphor, like you get better.
Yeah.
You get better, but you have to understand that. Most people think, oh, when's it going to get easier? Even me. Sometimes I'm like, what the fuck? But I'm like, yo, bro, how many people drive from their house to their building, I'm like, this is what comes with it, bro. This is me talking to myself. A lot of things I put in my stories is me talking to myself. You know what I mean? Like, people are like, who are you talking to? I'm like, myself, bro, myself. Because some people are like, are you talking to me? I'm like, if it fits, yeah.
If the shoe
but
fits.
sometimes I'm talking to myself, bro. Like, I'm trying to record my thoughts to myself because I'm like, yo, bro, like, it wasn't built in a day, or, it sucks today, but tomorrow, one decision, one piece of good news changes your attitude, right? Like, it's always like that. So you got to keep searching for that. Even if yesterday sucked. You got to wipe yourself off and get up every day, like, with the same enthusiasm, which is the secret. The secret is to be able to discipline yourself. And discipline, just so you know, when people talk about, oh, working out, oh, Omar, you just, bro, as long as you moving, right? So yesterday was a really tough day for me. So I wasn't moving as strong as I wanted to move. So you just move. Today I felt better, I'm strong. Tomorrow I'll play basketball, I'll feel good. Thursday I'll be washed, I'm staying in bed, right? Because after the basketball, I'm fucked up. And Friday, like, I understand it. And the real win, or the real secret to that success is to stay moving even when you want to stay in bed. You gotta and it doesn't have to be the best day of your life. It could just be one step at a time, right? Moving one forward, because you'll always feel better. When you feel accomplished, everything feels better. Like, I did something, right? I did something. That Thursday we saw, I did something. I connected with my people. I haven't seen them because I'm stuck in my office, right? But I get out there, I see them. My son was there. He's understanding. He's hearing maybe you guys say something that I say all the time, but because I'm dad, he doesn't hear me.
Absolutely.
Because you say it, oh my God, he changed my life. I'm like, whatever it takes, bro. Whatever it takes to win, man.
100%.
Right? You know what I'm talking about, right? It's
because it's your parents.
He's so smart. Word. And all you gotta do is go, yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Or she is, yeah. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Yeah. Humility. That's a big thing.
Oh,
but going back to that statement of the ego thing. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
So I started the podcast I want to say 4 or 5 years ago.
Nice.
Because going back to representation, I didn't think, we had, there's no shot at anybody, Drink Champs. That's not me. I want to talk about real shit. Yeah. Like, shit that changed my life. Like, I want to have people. I've had billionaires on the podcast. I've had sneaker store owners on the podcast. Like, these are all people moving in their direction. And if one kid can then say, yo, I'm going to do that shit, they don't disqualify themselves the way I did when I was young, then I won. If we inspire one person, bro, we change it. We change everybody. We change the whole dynamic of the world. Because
absolutely. More
guys or girls moving forward than staying on the sidelines and just watching and then falling into the negative thoughts of like hating, and you don't have to. Yo, participate, right? I know it sounds, don't hate, participate. Yo, man, get in the game. I said I would rather die on the court, on the field, whatever it is, than live forever in the stands. I'd rather die. That's just who I am. And if everybody adopted that attitude, we'd have a lot more players, right?
Yeah. So you just always been this way. It's
not even something when I was young. When I was young, I was more scared, right? So I was more of a bystander. I was scared. Like, I'm talking about 7th, 8th grade. I was like, oh, I'm scared to say this. I don't want to say that. Or I would get accepted into these, like, because I had a weird. I'm almost like a walking. What do you call it? I thought of the word yesterday.
Contradiction?
Contradiction. Yes, thank you for that. I'm walking contradiction. Like, I would go to school and I'd be in all A classes. But all my friends from the building were in the D classes. So when we go to recess, they be in fights and shit. And I'd be like, yo, they'd be like, yo, Mr. Figueroa, why are you here? I was like, this is my homeboy. He's like, what? How do you know this person? Get over there, right? I'd be in the gifted classes and my boys be out in the hallway. I'm like, yo, chill, son. You chill. Because they not going to class. They just chilling. And I understand that. And as a young person, I say that, you know, you don't want to, you don't know who you are yet, right? So you're like, I'm that. I am. Because when I go home, these are my neighbors. In school, I'm here with, like, you know, Asians and Persians, and we don't really have anything socially in common. So we can talk academia. And even that academia is a little weird because they don't have my culture. Right? So it is, I was in a weird place. So later on, I was like, yo, fuck that. I was like, I'm gonna make my own space because he on the feet. How many CEOs are doing that? Nobody, but this is part of who I am. You want to talk about depreciation taxes? I could do that. Let's do that. Put me on. Let's do it. You want to go on science podcast? I could do that too. But it's all me, and that becomes the contradiction, right? People are like, I don't understand. I'm like, yeah, I could wear a suit. I could wear what I want. I'm not interviewing. And then, like, I had a kid come to my office and interview. I was like, what are you wearing? I told him, well, I see the way you do it. I was like, yeah, but I'm not interviewing. I own everything. You're sitting in my building.
It took a lot to get to this.
Yeah, you get to this part. You earn this. You don't just wake up with this. And that's the conversation that I have to have. I'm like, bro, like, I wore suits for a long time. When I had the liquor store and I started doing the mortgages, I would go see clients in the suit and then come to the liquor store, change into my whatever, and then move boxes. Like, you know, like, I knew that's what they expected. Now at this point in my life, because I'm being referred by their attorney or their doctor or whoever, they're like, you know, one of my attorneys, shout out to Chris Cabanese, I love you. The best pitch ever for me. He would be like, listen, because by law, you're supposed to give people options. He'll be like, hey, man, I'm gonna give you 3 numbers. But this guy I'm about to call, he'll get it done. If you don't use him, I don't want to hear shit. He'll be like, hold on. And call me. And he had the best intro ever. They're like, oh, we got to use this guy, right? He was the best. Yeah.
Nice, my man.
Yeah, so I tell him, like, yo, because he was doing foreclosure defense back in the day. Now he does a lot of, what is that? Citizenship stuff. Like, he's big on that. He would be like, listen, I'd say, look, you could be in your house because they haven't paid their mortgage in a few months. I'm going to put you on with the guy that can keep you there. You can use whoever you want, but this is the guy. This is my guy. So I don't want your shit. Then we just started, like, my network kind of does that. Now we're like, yo, I could call 5 guys. This guy, this is the guy you want to deal with. That's what I'm saying. And yeah, so again, going back to learning, right? Going back to learning how you introduce yourself and who introduces you and who you're associated with.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, that's important because people don't know that. People think, like, I've had the same person introduce me by different people. And the first guy, I'm like, oh, it's fucking bullshit. Like this nigga's, he's a clown, so this guy's a clown. The second guy, I'm like, all right, let me call him. Right? It's crazy.
100%. And
I've made millions of dollars with that guy. Like, I'm like, yeah, no, what I'm saying is, like, had that second guy never introduced me.
Yeah.
Right? But it goes back to, like, behavior and shit like that. You like, if you're fucking around with a clown, like, and that's why I'm kind of careful who I kind of hang out with. You don't see me rolling around too much with too many people. I'm like, no, I'm good, man. Like, whatever. Because I am also guilty of that. Like, if I see who you with, I'm like, yeah, I know that guy. He's stupid. Fuck that guy. That guy, like, you turn off real quick, right? Even now, like, with social media, I don't know if you noticed, like, I don't know if you've done this yet, but sometimes I'm careful who I take pictures with.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you don't know who right.
Absolutely.
Right, because it could be a problem.
Absolutely.
Because it could be a problem later.
Absolutely.
So
this might not be good for my brand.
So you're aware, right? So
100%.
Yeah. So we can say that. Yeah.
My brand is this, and that.
Yeah.
That video, that picture might not really fit my brand.
Yeah. Which is crazy now that we have to do 100%. That because we're curating our image.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's the brand.
Yeah.
Well, where can the people find you?
Ask Lewis Omar everywhere. I've done this shit for years. Ask Lewis Omar every platform, bro. Ask Lewis Omar. AskLuisOmar. Ask Lewis Omar. And the podcast is on YouTube, Real with Omar. That's it. That's very my story, nice. And that's all we're saying.
Anything you have coming up that you want the people to tune into?
I'm gonna do an event soon. Nice. I haven't mapped it out. the eventual win is to do the event at my building. I want to have everybody there.
That's perfect.
When I finish the building, I want to have everybody there, right?
That's perfect.
But I am thinking about doing like an event. Maybe I'll include you with it at a restaurant.
I would love to.
To talk about mindset and stuff like that. I usually do it like I used to do it with friends and family, and I have them all there, and we finance it. We take care of it. So I'm still kind of thinking about that. I mean, the holidays are coming right now, so it's kind of tough, but we'll figure it out. I think the in-person event has come back in a crazy way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what it went from COVID to to everybody want to be outside.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've seen that, and I've seen that
This is the time.
on Thursday. Yeah, you seen it too?
Absolutely.
So he knows.
Absolutely. It's
He
heavy
knows.
out here.
He knows.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%. Well, thank you very much for your time. It's been
Thank you.
great podcast.
I hope so.
Absolutely. It is. And thank you everybody that watched. Peace and love.
Peace and love, guys.